Special at-home breaking news edition of Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you as the Seattle Seahawks have made another hire to the coaching staff, adding Kirk Olivadotti from the Green Bay Packers to coach the linebackers. This is now the third hiring from new head coach Mike Macdonald. We told you earlier today about Macdonald adding Jay Harbaugh to his staff as special teams coordinator. Leslie Frazier, we gave you that news on Friday, that he was joining the Seahawks as assistant head coach, and now we're starting to see this coaching staff unfold for Mike Macdonald here in his first year in Seattle. And you look at this hiring, let's tell you a little bit more about Kirk Olivadotti first and foremost. Comes over from Green Bay, where he had been since 2019 as inside linebackers coach. Prior to that was with the Washington organization from 2014 to 2018 as linebackers coach, and then before that, the University of Georgia from 2011 to 2013 as linebackers coach. So if you talk about experience, this guy's been coaching linebackers at a high level, whether it be college or pro, all the way back to 2021. That's a long time for somebody to be working with one position group. So he knows a thing or two about the position. I can tell you that much. The other thing that stands out, this is another familiar name. You look at what the Seahawks staff has been so far, right? Leslie Frazier, former head coach, widely respected around league circles. Made sense for him to get the assistant head coach role, right? And then you go to Harbaugh, and this is somebody that Mike Macdonald had worked with previously, as the two had worked in Baltimore together and also worked in Michigan. And now with Olivadotti, here is a guy that worked with Mike Macdonald all the way back to his days at Georgia when Mike Macdonald was a grad assistant, okay? So we're getting the whole band back together, essentially, from Mike Macdonald's coaching staff. He is hiring people he knows, that he trusts, and that he's familiar with. To me, that all sounds good on that front. So just some interesting takeaways already from what we're seeing of this staff starting to assemble here in Seattle at this point in time. What's your one-word reaction to the Seahawks hiring Kirk Olivadotti as linebackers coach for this Seahawks team? Give me your one word. My one word is going to be expected. This feels like this is something Mike Macdonald would do, kind of par for the course, along with the other hirings at this point. Give me your one-word reaction and let us know. Folks, this is why you subscribe to Seahawks Today. This is our third video on the channel today. I was sitting here at home watching my Kansas Jayhawks, Rock Chalk, beating on my boss, Brett Scott's K-State Wildcats, and then this news broke. And we said, well, we got to get a video together. I'll get back to my Jayhawks here in a couple minutes when hopefully they pull this out and beat K-State and I get bragging rights to my boss. So if you need any more reason to subscribe to Seahawks Today. Rock Chalk, stick it to my boss, Brett Scott, and show him what's up. Let's get to 50,000 subscribers. We're trying to get there before the Super Bowl this week. Let's show them who's boss. For the latest happenings in your Seattle Seahawks, when I'm enjoying my night at home after a little extended weekend, still bringing you a third video. No one else is doing that but us here on Seahawks Today. Why? Because we're built different. Because we care more than anyone else does. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. Okay, so now let's get into the negatives of sorts with Olivadotti here, because, we don't tell you always what you want to hear. We tell you what you need to hear on Seahawks Today. Here's the other side of it, okay? If we're being frank as far as Olivadotti goes, the Green Bay Packers defense left a lot to be desired in 2023. Packer fans were calling for Joe Barry's head all season long, their defensive coordinator, and wanted to get rid of that entire staff. And you look at the statistics, okay, from what the Packers did on defense this year. Opponents' points per game, they were 13th in the league. Not terrible, 21.4. But they were 22nd in opponents' yards per game with 345.4 yards per game. Third down conversions allowed 43.75%, 28th in the league. And then, on top of that, this is where things get interesting when you dissect Green Bay's defense this past year. And obviously all of it's not on the linebackers, but the linebackers kind of a good measuring stick of sorts. They were 24th in the league in opponents' yards per rush, 4.5. 26th in the league in opponent rushes per game, 28.5. Opponents' rushing yards per game, 127.1, 28th in the league, and opponent rushing touchdowns per game, 0.9, 24th in the league. I say this all to say, doesn't that sound familiar? Haven't we talked about that for 2 years with this Seahawks team? How much they've struggled with the run defense, and in particular, the linebackers being out of whack, out of sorts. Now, it did get somewhat better this year with bringing Bobby back compared to throwing Cody Barton out there. And Jordan Brooks was a big surprise coming off the ACL, how much he recovered. But I got to say, of the hirings made so far, this is easily my least favorite of the hirings. I get the familiarity factor in it. And I understand that you got to hire people you know and you trust, and Olivadotti and him go way back, all the way back to the Georgia days. I get that. But if I'm looking at the recent track record and what the Packers defense was, specifically that linebacker position, they were not that great. And think about this too, another point. It is very hard in today's NFL to grab another coach for what is a lateral move, right? There's a reason why Green Bay is letting Olivadotti walk here for the same position. They don't want him back. So I'll say this. It's one of those you're just going to have to trust Mike Macdonald. That hopefully he sees something in Olivadotti that wasn't there this year in Green Bay. This is the worst of the three hirings so far. Now, maybe it wasn't his fault what happened with the Green Bay Packers defense this year, in particular run defense, but this is a little skeptical. I liked the Harbaugh hire. I liked the Leslie Frazier hire. This one's a little more puzzling. So we'll see. We'll continue to follow these hirings and what the Seahawks do over the next couple days as they continue to fill up the rest of this coaching staff. I want to make sure you get your grade on this. What would you grade this hiring? A, B, C, D, or F? This one's going to be a C- for me. I'm not feeling so great. Not feeling so great about this hiring, but I like the other one so far. So I'll give Macdonald the benefit of the doubt. When you get the others right, then you kind of earn one where you get to say, trust me on this. And that's what kind of Mike Macdonald's doing with this one here. Subscribe to the channel. We'll keep you posted on what's going on with these hirings over the next couple of days until this coaching staff is completely filled. Now I'll go back to watching my Kansas Jayhawks hopefully beat K-State here. Stick it to boss Brett Scott. Subscribe to the channel. Go Hawks. Rock chalk. And we'll see you tomorrow.